So I was speaking with a friend of mine recently on Instagram. Throughout the conversation, we got to a point where we discussed our mutual dislike for jogging, like going on the steady state runs. I started jogging a couple months ago again after a while, and I don't like it. I don't enjoy it. She asked me a simple question that got me a little emotional as I started going down that rabbit hole of thought. She simply asked, what keeps you going? This might not seem that profound of a question, right? Throughout this video, I want you to keep that question in mind. What keeps you going? And kind of ask yourself that. Because when I started thinking about it, when it comes to like running or even working out, which I don't necessarily enjoy doing in the moment, and I certainly don't enjoy preparing for it, although sometimes it has its emotional relief benefits, but I don't enjoy doing these things in of themselves. I asked myself why, like what actually keeps me going? And when it comes to health, I realized I don't want to be a slave to my body. What keeps me going is knowing that if I want to have a high quality of life, I need to be I need to be flexible. I need to have a certain level of strength and balance and stability. I don't want to be a slave to my body. I don't want to be burdened by this shell that surrounds my consciousness. You see people that are, extremely overweight, don't have much concern with how they eat or understanding the outline of what it takes to have a well-functioning body. And this is not to throw shade at people that are overweight or have conditions that prevent them from maximizing the use of their body. When I see these people, I realize you don't even understand how much your quality of life can improve if you had better mobility, if you worked on your flexibility, if you ate better and you worked out and you did those things you hate like jogging. Because you can't know how it feels to have a lot of energy if you're constantly in this low vibrating state where every day you're kind of just dragging your body around because you have a lot of excess weight, your joints and your muscles aren't functioning. So when it comes to the running and jogging, what keeps me going? Quality of life. And it was kind of a revelation for me to think about that, because it doesn't apply just to the working out, but it applies to the way I handle my finances, the way my lifestyle is set up, the way I'm compelled to live well below my means. It's all for quality of life. I would love for you to think about that yourself. What keeps you going? What keeps you going with the things the goals you have that require certain challenges or obstacles to be overcome that aren't enjoyable, that really push back against you, that creates a feeling of resistance inside of you? What keeps you going? And I think it's an important question, because having the awareness of that answer allows you to resort back to it and kind of put your hand on it when times do get tough. I was in the hospital a few days ago. I had septoplasty surgery, basically just surgery to fix my deviated septum in my nose, or remove it, to help me breathe better. I'd broken my nose a few years ago. As I'm sure you're kind of familiar with, when you're in the hospital, it's kind of an eerie feeling. It's not the most inviting place. You got people coughing over here, people on ventilators over there, being strolled through the hallways, heart surgery talk, someone missing a limb. It's not a great place to be. I mean, everyone's not at an ideal place in life with their health in one way or another. So anyways, when I was in the stall putting on my little gown with the back out, I could hear in the little stall area next to me a nurse talking to this guy, and he was talking about, she was asking him what his weight is. He didn't know. So she said, we need to weigh you. She weighed him and she said, do you want to know what it is? She's like, you're 315 pounds. And his response to that was, is there something you want to share with me? And he kind of got defensive. And she's like, no, I just want to, some people just want to know what their weight is. So I thought you might want to know. He said, no, it's okay. I'm pretty active. I go on walks. I eat right. I'm healthy. I'm not concerned. He's 315 pounds and he's my height. And I'm not a small dude. And I'm only 215 pounds. When I eventually saw her stroll him by, he wasn't in the greatest shape. He was obese, for lack of a better word. And so I heard through the conversation that he was in it for a heart condition. The point of me saying this is that when I'm in the hospital, I'm seeing all these people. Some people are there for reasons that were preventable. Heart conditions often a result of the way we eat, the way we, our activity in life. Are we sedentary in our lifestyle and the way we go about things? Given some people have in their family, they're predisposed to it, but a lot of these things can be prevented. And I don't want to be a slave to my body. I've had injuries. I've had knee injuries that lasted for 2, 3, 4 years. I have a back injury I've been really just getting over now, that I've had it for 2 or 3 years. For both of those injuries, at one point I felt like this might be the injury that 40, 50 years from now, I refer back to as, yeah, I used to run, I used to work out, I used to play basketball, but I injured my back in my 30s. I didn't want that to happen. So I tried so hard to heal it, and I kind of took a shotgun effect. And I just shot at everything I could at it. Taking more different vitamins, going to physiotherapy, chiropractor, osteopath, physiotherapist, acupuncture, reflexology, like strength training, yoga, everything. Because I wanted to fix this knee. I wanted to be able to run or play basketball and not have it inflamed and my range of motion messed up. I wanted to get myself to the point where my back, when I get out of bed, it didn't hurt. When I get up from sitting from at a desk for a couple hours, it didn't hurt. I could go on the ground, lay down and get back up, it didn't hurt. And just the thought of going the rest of my life with that nagging injury is literally enough to bring a tear to my eye. Like there would be times where I'm just like, man, if this doesn't heal, it's gonna affect the quality of my life so much. Because for me, it's important to be able to go out to a park and walk or run up a steep hill, to travel and do things that require a certain level of athleticism and fitness. And the thought of not being able to do that, the thought of having a lower quality of living due to a restriction in my body, was just, the thought alone is devastating. What keeps me going is it's always quality of life. The reason I live below my means financially is because I'm willing to put the Adrian of today in a comfortable position, not thriving, not like having everything I want, but in a comfortable position for the betterment and opportunity of the Adrian of tomorrow, of next year, 5 years, 10 years from now. Quality of life. If you spend as much money as you earn, you might be living it up today, but what are you setting the future you up for tomorrow? And for me, I'm just keenly aware of that. I know what it feels to be broke. I know what it feels to not have any disposable income. I know what it feels like to be in debt and not know what next month is gonna involve when it comes to making money and how to pay for things you need to live. Everything comes back to quality of living for me. So what keeps you going? When times are challenging, when you're doing something that you don't enjoy, when you're running or working out and it sucks, and you're sore for the next 2 or 3 days, and you think, man, is this soreness ever gonna go away? Like, and then people stop. But it's like you have to be able to push through that discomfort, and then it gets better. But when you're going through that discomfort and you want to stop and you want to quit or you want to kind of give up, what keeps you going? And the answer is going to be different for everyone. And you might think, oh, Adrian, quality of life is what everyone wants. There's nothing novel about that. Well, here's the thing. Ask yourself what keeps you going with any particular thing, and what's your why? That's a good question. What's your why? And then once you have an answer for that, ask yourself the why to that. For me, like quality of living. Well, why quality of life? The answer to that, like why quality of life? To think about it right now, because if I have to be here, I have to be living, and I have to go through this exercise of living, going to sleep, waking up, living, going. I want to be able to do it at the best of my ability and have as much of the upside with the least amount of downside. That's why I got the septoplasty. Not being able to breathe through your nose affects your quality of life. So I was like, let me do this because I want to increase my upside and lower my downside. So I want to be able to live life that I have at its highest potential that I'm capable of, and continue to alter and tweak things in my life in order to do that. Okay, well, why to that? Because life is a struggle. Life is challenging. Life is hard. And so that's a given. You can't get away from that. The hard is always there. But the ease, the positive, the joy, the happiness, that comes and goes. And your actions and decisions in life can dictate how much or less of that you have. The chaos is a given. The order is in our control. I want to do the things in life that a lot of people don't even consider. I want to travel the world. I want to retire by 40. I want to do these things because I realize I see people that have done it, and I see how it opens their life up. And so you can keep on asking why. Yes, everyone wants to have a higher quality of living, but not everyone has my second layer why. For me, I want to sacrifice the Adrian of today in ways to benefit the Adrian of tomorrow. Some people don't have that philosophy. Some people have the philosophy that's the exact opposite. They want to live life today as much and as well as possible, despite what the future holds. Tomorrow's not promised. Next year's not promised. If I have all this money, I want to get the car that I love. I want to soup it up. I want to have a really nice house. I don't care about living below my means. I want to live at or beyond my means and live it up today while I can, because tomorrow's not promised. That's a different philosophy. It's not one that I take, but it's someone else's philosophy. And so knowing not only that you have a quality of life reasoning for what keeps you going, but knowing what that sub-layer is, that second why. Why quality of life? Because this. Why that? Because of this. And so what you'll find is that the more you ask why to every answer you have, the deeper and more introspective you go. And that's powerful. This is all a thought process that came from such a simple question, but it made me kind of monitor different areas of my life and ask myself that question. And I want you to do that because I think it's valuable. What keeps you going? Why are you doing that? When things get tough in that part of your life, what is it that you look to that keeps you going? Some people that run, you might ask them, hey, what keeps you going? Some people might say, I have 3 kids, they're 3 years old, I'm 40, And by the time they're in high school, by the time they're in college and they're playing sports, I want to be able to run with them. I want to be able to help train them. I want to be there for them so I can physically keep up. For a lot of people, that's their why. And so if you ask why to that, why do you want to be able to keep up? Because I want to contribute to the success of my son and my daughter at the highest level. I want to be able to be there to support them and to have fun with them and take them and do activities while we're both at an age that we can appreciate it together. Well, why do you want to do that? Like it keeps on going. Ask yourself that. It's a simple question, but the more you consider and reflect on it, I think you'll be surprised at just how deep it goes. I like to do these kind of thought experiments, and that question that I had from that discussion with my friend really set me down that train of thinking. So that's it. That's all I got. If you enjoyed this video, check out this playlist. I'm sure you'll enjoy it, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.